He had too many children. He sold the property to another Quaas. The property was working like a truck farm. They grew sugar beets and rutabagas, and they had a small store and two smaller greenhouses that were kind of in the ground and the rooftop, and were probably about 100 feet long. And if I could speak German better, I would have probably tried to buy that property because it was a beautiful spot and it was a little lake close by. I could fish there. Your grandfather became the nurseryman around the coal mine and decorated the property of the coal miner supervisor. And his son, my dad, became an apprentice in the Altenburg, the largest town near where he was born. And he was there for about 3 years. Then when he became a journeyman, he moved to my mother's hometown to work at a place called Benavides. Benavides was world renowned for raising cyclamen plants. They raised the seeds and raised the plants and sold them all around the world. In 1922, he was offered a position at the conservatory in Berlin, which would have been a disaster because we would have been living there during the Second World War and Berlin got wiped out. However, he chose not to go there. He went with the idea of the group going to the United States, and he ended up in Chicago in March of 23. Eventually, while in Bremerton, he would go and work over in Everett once in a while. Gretchen and Herman bought City Floral in 1927. They split in 1931, and that's when Gretchen went back with Mrs. Hartman to get my mother and bring her to the United States. They had moved to Everett in 1933 and lived in an apartment on 29th and Lombard. I was born there. Ellen was about to be born, and my dad bought the house at 235th and a Rucker, and had a lot which we grew our summer stock on, and it was a whole lot, 25-foot lot, and went from the street to the alley, and we raised dahlias and baby breath and sweet peas. Those were the main crops. My dad died in '66. I became the owner of the flower shop, City Floral. There I was. And in the mix of good and bad, if my dad would have been alive, I know that we would have been one store only and would have been just fine. But the young son, he had other ideas. So I've gone from being a florist, in which I graduated in horticulture, but horticulture was just one arm of the horticultural program at Washington State. Fruit trees, pomology was a part, disease was pathology was a part, economics was a part, law was a part. I graduated, fortunately, from the science program that had a lot of possibilities to go into, and we, in a lifetime, touched them all.